Hey, you lads and ladies. I'm the Jawesome one, and welcome to the easiest Age of Empires 2 game I've ever played, or the easiest 2v1 match I've ever played. So we have myself, the Jawesome one in the blue. My teammate is Antonio. This was just a noob game. They named it LOS 300. No idea what that means, but they set it up as a 2v2 game. And I'm assuming these two are friends because immediately, like, these two set themselves as Team 1. They're Spanish-speaking people only. So this is Jaw versus two Spanish people again. My ally, though, is also Spanish, so you can't call me racist, guys. I'm teaming up with Spanish people. It's fine. So, anyways, let's begin. So yeah, I start off here in the blue, and it takes me a second to kind of recognize what's going on. I don't know why I was a bit slower, but there you go. Oh wow, the normal playback speed is slower than normal. That's not her. Let's speed it back up. Okay, game speed is set to... Just set it to full... Oh, maybe that's a bit too fast. We want normal. That's a little bit faster than normal, but it's fine. Okay, so yeah, here we go. This is my ally in the green. We have Antonio. Then we have, in the red, we have Julian. And in the yellow, we have Victor. And the reason I wanted to cast this game was actually out of curiosity, because I wanted to see how these two guys played and what there is that you can learn from them as a new player, right? Because well, maybe I don't want to spoil the ending. I did say that this was like the easiest 2v1 match I ever played, so that kind of does spoil everything. But you know, I still want to see what it is that we can learn from these guys and just how we can have a bit of fun along the way. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, there I am creating villagers. That's like the most important thing. I learned the build order and everything like that. So yeah, he's gonna build the berries. He went after a boar, but there was no boar near me, and then I typed "I know pig" in reference to. Oh, there they are. They were actually right outside my line of sight. I had only scouted out about this far. And normally you would have seen a boar if you scout about this far away from your base, but this time the two boar were in the same place and really far away. This map also gives you extra sheep. I just gathered like an extra 4 right there. I wonder how Red's doing with that. So Red hasn't even found his first set of 4 sheep. He's just immediately going for the farms. What's Victor been up to? Victor hasn't even bothered finding his sheep. Okay, well, what about Green? Okay, at least Green here has actually been trying to gather sheep. It looks like he has one right there. He needs to pull in. What's going on over here? Okay, he's just got more sheep. Oh, whoops. This is why I don't like clicking the minimap. But I guess I should do things this way, right? If I want to be a better caster. Like I said before, I know I'm not really that into casting, but, you know, that's just, I kind of wanted to this time. This is my first time seeing the game played back, by the way. I want to see why it is they played so bad. Oh, here we go. This is the part when I start sending villagers forward. I wanted to send some villies forward and see if I can harass red and yellow a wee bit. By the way, I didn't even know until a little bit later that this map is like a river base. I guess I must... Oh, okay. I was signaling to red because at the time I saw that there was a yellow sheep and it was over here, right? Well, he moved it over here. But at the time when I saw this, I scouted and I saw like that little sheep right there. But yeah, if you guys want to see this game yourselves, you can always go to my Voobly account, the Jawesome one. There it is right there. No spaces, just the Jawesome one. And you can always go and look at my games and see why I'm one of the worst players on Voobly. But not in this game. This game proves I am not the worst player of Age of Empires. So that's kind of nice. Hello. I have an idol there. Ooh, I've got 2 idols. 2 idols. What about Red? He's doing way worse. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know how to pull that up. There's like a stats screen that you can pull up, but I have no idea how you do it. No idea how. There's my scout. I came back because I just scouted his town center, so now I'm like, okay, well now I know how to get there. I know that there's a choke point here. And boy, you're gonna see the way I advance on this guy. I'm kind of happy with myself and how I chose to handle this. But then again, I'm up against noobs, so maybe I just played terribly. Period. Yeah, there we go. I start sending 3 villagers forward. All of them die, by the way. Spoiler alert. So yeah, Green is over here. He's not doing anything. He's just base building. That's it. Yellow, same story. He's not really doing anything, just eco. Red, same story. Not doing anything interesting. I'm the only one here that's actually trying to do something interesting. Yeah, the wolves attack the villagers and I don't respond quickly enough. And then this guy, for whatever reason, is like super far behind. Let's see here. Green. Again, not interesting to keep up with him. He's not doing anything. He's not even scouting. And then I signaled over here to let him know where red is. I think that's what I intended. I don't remember exactly what my thoughts were at the time. Why am I hungry again? I just had dinner. The power of tuna casserole. But yeah. And then there goes my scout. He is running around. He is looking at everything. So yeah, this is definitely very important for you guys to know out there. You gather from animals faster than anything else. I figured most players knew that. But I guess if you're a Spanish-only speaker and you don't really understand English, then learning how to play Age of Empires 2 is going to be a bit trickier for you. What was that? What was that at my base? Okay. Oh yeah, she dies. Oh no, she doesn't. I thought she dies here. I guess not. So yeah, she's going to go forward now, and she's going to build me a small base, and I'm going to use it to raid. Also, you may not have noticed this, but I just reached the feudal age. Their scores were up above mine for a moment at one point. I don't know if you saw that. But their scores were up above mine, so I'm like, oh man, they must be advancing to feudal. I better hurry up. No, it turns out they were way behind me. Oh man, yellow is doing awful. Is he even on his way up? Victor. Victor, are you even... No, he's not. He's still making more villas. He has at 18 villagers. Man, that's way ahead of me in vill count. I'm at... Oh, never mind. I'm at 26. Julian is at 19. And my homie, Antonio, is 18. So yeah, look at that. You can get up to 28 villagers in 20 minutes. Like, that's not that bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad. Okay, Julian, what are you up to? Yeah, he's just building his houses, and then he's gathering his gold from over here. Yeah, again, he's not really playing very optimally. Like, you can see here, he has a bunch of his houses just really in the way of his farms. So he's going to really have a hard time with that. And then yellow, similar kind of story, because he chose to build his farms like extending a bit past his TC, and for whatever reason built the mill right there. You don't want to do that with your mill. Don't build it next to the TC. Build it a little ways. Build it like 2 farms between yourself and your TC. Maybe 3 farms away if you really are planning to just really get into food. But I wasn't willing to, because at some point during this I decided, you know what, I'm going to go for archers. Archers are great to use early game because you can really take advantage of things with archers. It's funny because looking back at this, there were some times where they could have actually dealt some damage to me, but they just didn't do it. They weren't playing aggressively enough. That's definitely one of the few points. Look at that. If you're gonna make a military, like, make sure that there's a purpose for it. Don't just make military units just to have them sit there and do nothing. Have them scout. Have them go around your base looking for enemy threats. Have them keep you updated on where the enemy is. Don't just have them sit there clustered in the middle of your base. I've learned that the hard way in some of my past games. For some reason, Green sent his scout over to say hi, hello. And then he starts walling himself in, which, is good. Prop to him. He should be walling himself in. I'm going to slow this down a little bit. I'm having a hard time keeping up. Okay, there we go. Yeah, now it's at 75. I thought it was at 75 already. Okay, his farms are exhausting. Oh no. So he needs to be getting more villagers on wood. Oh, he's being attacked by my tower. Look at that. Yeah, I built a tower. I saw that this was up on the hill with my scout earlier. I was like, wow, that is the perfect place to build a town center. And if I can wall off this area, make it inaccessible to him, I can deny him of his stone, which I did, and it was awesome. And I felt happy about that. But I knew he was going to come in and try to hit me. So I was like, well, you know what? He doesn't know what I have planned. Let's have archers kind of chill in the back here, so whenever he attacks me, whenever he tries to come at my tower, I've got archers here to back the thing up. And then at first I put my villagers inside the tower, just to make it, do more damage to the vills. There's another one of his town centers going down again, but there you go. That's where most of the interesting stuff happens, is right there. Victor, again, he's not doing anything interesting. He needs to be eating his sheep. You gather from animals faster than anything else. Can't say that enough. That's very important. And then on to Antonio. Antonio is doing okay. Yeah, he's doing better than the other two. So that, you know, like we were winning. We're winning. So that's definitely a really good sign. And now let's cut over to me, because I'm the only one who's doing anything actually interesting. So, let's see here. Yeah, like I said, I've been trying to learn how to play this like a pro, and this is more or less how pros kind of do it. They want to hit you early on. They want to hit you where you're weak. They go and they look around. They're like, oh, you have stone, and there's a place where that's really defensible for me to put a tower. So I'm going to put a tower there and deny your stone. Then we put a tower here, deny your wood, you know. That's how the pro players do this. They sort of harass you little bit by little bit in whatever ways that they can. So here's where I harass him a bit with my archers. Now I don't know he has scouts, and I also don't know he has any army at all. But see, I see that he sends his one archer forward. I'm like, dude, really? You think one archer's gonna stop 5 or 6 archers? No. But then he sends his scouts. And this is the part that kind of catches me off guard a bit, because I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting him to counter with skirmishers. I was expecting him to make skirmishers, see my archers and make skirmishers, so I built that, the cavalry in expectation of that. I have this area pretty much walled off at this point. I just need to send a villager over here. Yeah, there's the part where I fix this. And then I have one archer just sitting there on that hill. It's weird that they don't even try to go around to get at the tower or get at the one archer sitting there. Upgraded them to crossbow. But yeah, he just sits right there, just like doesn't even do anything. And I know about the weakness right here, so I'm like, okay, let's go seal this up. But I hadn't scouted down here yet, I don't think. Yeah, I don't believe I scouted down there just at the time. Oh, maybe I had. Okay, maybe I had scouted down here at the time. But yeah, she's constructing her. Yeah, now I'm constructing a barracks, right? Because then I'm like, okay, well, if he's gonna make a lot of scout cavalry, I need spearmen. I need to counter that. And then green does the weirdest thing. Let's cut over to his perspective for a moment, because I want to see if I can kind of figure out what's going through his head. So he's doing okay resource-wise. He's not really hitting it hard enough on the gold like he should be. Oh, no, he is. But what he needs to do is he needs to build a market, and he needs to initiate trade with me. I can't remember if I built a market yet. No, I don't build a market yet. Which is kind of funny coming from me, because that's one of the most important things for you to build. Like, you need to build that as soon as possible. But I'm a little bit too focused on what's going on over here. And for whatever reason, Red has just idle villagers over here. He's not sending them out to do anything. Even this villager, like, she could do so much from her position. Like, I have my base over here. She could go scout it out. She could go build a barracks over here to kind of counter me. There's so many options for what Julian here could have done to me, but he doesn't do it. And because he doesn't act, now I get to expand my territory. I get to take over, I get to claim this little area, which he never scouts, by the way, until much, much later. Now, eventually he does get a smart idea to come and hit me from behind going around this way, but I'm way ahead of him on that. I send a villager down here and I get walls. Sounds like he had another farm go off. Or no, that's Green. Green's the one having farms go off. But yeah, see, it's funny because these guys aren't doing a very good job keeping up on their farms, but me... whoops, I clicked on him. But me, I actually do a much better job at keeping up with that. Now, yeah, I recognize that those two weren't going. But, oh, it doesn't show it, but I did a much better job at keeping up with my... There it is, okay. So yeah, you want to make sure you have at least a few farms queued up. Just because it's really annoying to be in the middle of conflict like it's over here, and then suddenly, my farms are going bad, I need to go fix that now, but I can't, I'm in the middle of a conflict. So yeah, you know, it's really important that you keep on top of that. And then Victor over here, what is he doing? He's not doing anything. And by the way, we have Allied Vision. There's a mod called Allied Vision. That's all it does. You just don't have to buy cartography first. You can always see what your allies see. So yeah, he knows that I'm being attacked, but he just kind of like sits there building up his army. He doesn't go forward with maybe some villagers to build an army, to build an economy. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I didn't really understand how valuable, when I first got into the Age of Empires community, well, not the community, but just the game in general. I never understood just how valuable it is to have a base close to your enemy. it makes it so much more possible for you to do so many things. It makes it much harder for you to be intercepted by the enemy. Okay, he got attacked, I guess. So he's here at Green's base. And this is the part when Green... This is about the time when Green does, like, the dumbest thing. Yeah, see, he has his market. I'm aware that he's built his market. I finally build my market. And then I initiate trade with him. We need to cut to his perspective. I need to see what happens with him. Because this is pretty important. This, like, really freaks me out here. And I don't understand why he does it or what happens exactly. So I need to be over here and I need to see what's going on. I guess while keeping an eye on the mini-map here, I'll try and watch what's going on over here. Because over here, of course, is still very, very interesting. So he's gathering up his army. Yellow starts to send his. He's got his camels, which he's going to try to loop around to come hit me with. I don't know. I think he was expecting me to build cavalry, which really, like, you shouldn't try to read the mind of your opponent. You need to scout them out. You need to see exactly what they have, and then, you know, react with that. It's also important to keep in mind, like, what civ your opponent is playing as. You know, like, I'm playing as the Japanese, which means I get really good infantry units and infantry upgrades. So if you're playing against Japanese, you should be expecting some infantry. That doesn't mean, of course, that I guaranteed to send him. You know, like you saw, I'm using archers right now. So yeah, he's attacking my walls with his camels. You're not getting through that anytime soon, buddy. You keep on trying. Just keep on trying. You'll get through someday. He's doing 1 damage a second? Wow. Wow, that... Upgrades. Upgrades. You need upgrades. Okay, Yellow... No, he still hasn't come in with his army yet. And Antonio is still in... Okay. So I need to figure out what it is that happens to Green. Ooh. This is interesting. So Yellow is now sending a villager forward. Okay. This is interesting. Oh, that's gold over there. That's not it. That's some more yellow units. So yeah, so it looks like Green finally reached the castle age. He caught up with me. Red also reached the castle age. I didn't notice that. I didn't catch that. It's funny how you can be in the middle of, like, a, you know, a territory battle with somebody like this, and then just advance up in age. You know, it's kind of funny how that timing can work. But yeah, here goes Yellow, and Yellow does... I need to see what is it that Yellow does here. Oh, he resigned. He just resigned. So there's nothing. There was nothing. He wasn't attacked. There was no anything. He just decides to resign. Maybe this guy's like a kid or something, and his parents were like, "Come do the dishes, Johnny. You've been on that thing all day." And he's like, I don't wanna abandon my teammate. No, you need to come in here and do the dishes. So he's like, okay, fine. He gets off. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know. Oh, here he comes. Here he finally comes. Yellow. Okay, let's leave Green's perspective here because he no longer matters. Let's go to Victor's let's go to Julian's perspective. Okay, so yeah, he finds out about my army attacking him. He can see this. Yeah, he can see that pretty easily. He has no idea what I built. Look at this. Look at how little he knows about what I have. He doesn't know about the buildings I built. He doesn't know about this tiny little base over here just out of his line of sight. So yeah, he doesn't see that. He doesn't expect this. He doesn't see it coming. So he sends his villagers into hiding. He immediately panics, rings the bell. I don't know why he would expect me to attack his TC with this small of an army. You're not going to do much damage to his TC with a tiny little army like this, but maybe he doesn't know that, because this guy, he's worse at the game than me. And he's worse at the game than me! And that's saying something. It looks like he's just waiting for Yellow to show up with his little army here. But yeah, it looks like they don't ever really do anything all that interesting. So, okay, so... Wow, that's so weird. Look at that, making everything visible, but still enabling fog of war. Oh, that's so weird. That's so weird. I almost want to keep things like this just for the lulz, because now we can see everything that he sees, though he doesn't entirely matter in the long term. Really, what I see is more important, because what I do is pretty awesome. Compared to what these guys do, I mean. I'm not trying to jerk myself off and act like I'm the greatest person. No, I'm pretty terrible at this game. So I had some guys like defensively, you know how I mentioned earlier, don't create units just for the sake of it. If you're gonna create units, have them kind of scout around your base, learn more things about the weaknesses. So you can see here, I've learned about these weaknesses, I've sealed them off more or less. Of course, if he hits me with a large army, that's all well and done. But I didn't scout out this area. So if these guys played aggressively, like you should play it, these guys could have attacked right through here and hit right at my home base and just wrecked my economy. If these guys, or better yet, built like a little base up here and then messed with me over and over again with that. That would at least have done something, but no, these guys don't figure that out. Okay, here comes Yellow with his little army, right? And eventually, let's go to his perspective for a moment. Let's see everything he sees. There we go. So yeah, he only knows about my tower. It's still same as always. Red only has his camels, he just has them chilling back over here. It's funny because at the time, I assumed he had actually more units and he was waiting to sort of gather them up and attack me. I figured that Red was being smart and he was going to build more town centers and just expand his base. But no, he doesn't. This is all Julian has. Yellow at least expands his base. He may be stupid enough to not consume his sheep, but he's at least expanding his base. Ooh, he's getting hit by wolves. So he finds this gold and he just takes advantage of it, which is awesome for him. But let me show you guys something here real quick. Look at that, there's a relic right there. You gotta scavenge out your whole base, guys. By the way, was there ever a relic close to my base? Because I never found a relic close to my base. The entire game. I actively tried to find relics close to my base, and I never found one. Yeah, see, here's the part where I send a monk out to gather relics. Oh, that's not a relic. That's so lame. Look at that. They put one right... They practically give Victor a relic, and he never gets it. Meanwhile, I'm actively seeking relics, and I have to, like, get my men killed just to go find one. Oh, that sucks. Alright. So yeah, back over to Yellow's perspective. So I'm imagining he's finally starting to feel confident enough to attack. Look at this, he should know that all I have are palisade walls. If he just sent a single scout forward just to investigate real quick, even if it dies, it's fine. Just as long as you investigate. You gotta know what your opponent's doing. You gotta know what they're planning. Even if that unit dies, it would still be worth something, because then you kind of know what's going on. He doesn't do that. Victor here, okay, look, compare what these guys have scouted to what I've scouted. Okay, so I still need to scout out the back of my base, right? So you could argue, and you would probably be, and you would be at least partly right, that I am definitely as bad as they are, just because I haven't scouted completely circular around the base and left that massive gap for them to have attacked me. But look at how bad they're doing. Look at that. He hasn't walled off anything. He's completely open, completely exposed. No castles, no towers, no defensive structures. A couple of military buildings. Yellow's better off than Red is, though. Oh, here's the part when they attack me. And then I realized that, and I have my little army I was hiding over here. And I'm like, well, you know what? If he's going to attack me, I'm going to go attack him. And since his economy is here, and I don't have an economy hiding over here, and I also have some troops chilling over there. Oh, look at this. He saw that builder. I'm sure he had to have seen it. If he did see it, I'm sure he would have sent his men in. So there you go. So now I'm walling off this area. I'm walling off the area. There you go. And now he never notices this. Never notices any of this. Never, ever, ever. There you go. I sent a villager up. I sent an onager up here to mess with him. It does mess with him. It doesn't kill him. Now look, I want to see what's going through his head here. Okay, so he sees my onager and my little bitty army, and he goes for the tower. Oh, he finally found that little bit of palisade. Doesn't know about my farms, doesn't know about my TC down here. Huh, at one point this area was scouted, but he never found out about my TC. That's interesting. Okay, one of his farms went out by the way once again, so maybe he had to tab away real quick. Oh, did I get that villager that was hiding there? Oh, no, wait. No, yeah, I must have killed it. Uh-oh. Oh, it pauses, okay. It pauses when you go to select another player. That's interesting. Didn't know that. Okay, so now he sees that this is sealed off, or full of units, and he's like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Better get out. But I don't think he knows about... Okay, there you go. I send them out, because I'm like, oh, well, if he's just going to retract his whole army, let me go in there and stop the army from destroying my tower. If he cared so much about the tower, he really could have destroyed it a while back. If he just kept his army in here, destroyed it, kept the hill advantage, so he could have stopped me from defeating him, because I don't know if... just for the sake of anybody who doesn't know about it, every building, every unit that you place upon a hill has like this elevation advantage, right? Where it has more, it deals, I think it's 25% more damage and takes 25% less damage than anything that's lower than it in elevation. And that also applies to cliffs, which is why I was super happy about this area, because I'm like, well, if he tries to attack me, I can build like a castle here, and because it's up on a cliff, it'll fire down, you know, at anything that's over here. Of course, unless of course they attack right here, right through here. Yeah, he continues trying to take out the tower. Oh, but look at this. This is so sad. This is so sad. Alexa, play Despacito. Yeah, I come up here with a little bitty army, and I just wipe the floor, because I didn't even get upgrades on the skirmishers, but I did get one upgrade on the long swordsman, or 2 upgrades. Didn't even get any I'm repairing my watchtower, and he sees the villagers, but he doesn't do anything. You need to be aggressive. Why does on his screen display that I don't have palisade walls anymore? Oh, that's right. That's why. So if that disappears, then you should know that either your opponent deleted them or he's building something on top of them. Interesting. Very interesting. I wish I could kind of rewind, because that would be kind of neat. But if I hit previous chapter, it's just going to take me right back to the start. I have to like set individual chapters for it to save. Oh look, this is the part where Red's like, hey man, I'm kind of screwed. I'm going to send my economy up to here. You can kind of help me, right? You can help. Yeah, he knows he's going to get wrecked. He knows he's ruined. So he comes up here with his villagers, and they sit there and do nothing. Gosh dang it, Red, we talked about this already. You gotta keep your villagers moving. You can't have idle vills. Okay, look at that. Now he's starting to try and he still has some faith in this place, clearly, because he wouldn't keep his villagers around. But I don't think he has a single clue what's coming his way. I don't think he has a single clue. And I'm still building more. And look at this. Oh, he finally sees that I've upgraded this. He's finally seeing that I've upgraded this area. And Red hasn't scouted anything more with his camels. My buildings are totally fine. My economy is doing great. Oh, what was... Oh, he got attacked by something? Oh, I think... Oh, no, here... Okay, here it goes. This part is a bit of a blunder on my part. I should not have bothered messing with his men. But I think I wasn't paying attention. I think I was looking at my economy. And when I saw them out there, I was like, well, no point pulling them back. They'll just die. So I just let the archers take care of them. But then I build a castle, and he sees the castle. He sees the castle. He just has an archer shoot at it. Like that's gonna do anything. Oh no, he's building a castle. Shoot one archer at the building. Let's not even try to attack the villagers actually building it. Let's just fire a couple arrows at the building. That'll really do something. Red still hasn't done anything with them. This is irking me so much. Yellow is sending more troops. He's not doing anything with those sheep. He's not even at least sending them over to Red so he can eat them within the safety of his town center. Like his farms are way too far away from his town center. Ooh. Okay, yeah, I was like, you know what? Elite skirmishers. I finally got an upgrade on these guys, yes. and I upgraded them to elite. But now I'm like, you know what? I got a castle now. I'm gonna be just fine. So he comes in here thinking he's gonna mess with me with some scout cavalry with looks like 2 attack upgrades. So he did get upgrades. Oh, he got no upgrades on his cavalry archers. Yeah, these guys don't really get any upgrades. I at least try to get upgrades. I do have a bit of a hard time just because I'm so focused on my economy. At times I actually completely forget. Okay, but yeah, yellow doesn't really do anything interesting for a little while, so let's cut to my perspective. There we go. So I'm building up my forces over here. Sorry. At one point I thought yellow was going to come down here with his army and he was going to see this. So I panicked a bit and I tried to gate that area. But then I realized that the siege workshop was getting in the way. So I have a villager loop around. Look at that. He doesn't even... Oh no, he sees it. He sees it. Rip. Oh, but the guys come in to save him? Yeah, there we go. And I get my upgrade for fortified walls. He starts to build the gate. Oh, but he is gonna die. He is dead. Rip. And that, I think I sent these 3 over there to build it. I think after I built those villages, I'm like, why did I build these guys? I figured that yellow won and he was gonna come in here. So I panicked once again and I started quick walling. When did the thing that I missed, even I was like, wait, how did I get those 2 villagers here? Oh well, let's use them to build the gate. I don't even remember how I got them up there. But yeah, I got some trebuchet. Now I can barely see it, but occasionally yellow's like little scout force. Yeah, eventually they come into view from time to time. So I'm like, okay, I need to be careful about this. So let's send these guys forward to get them to run back, then send my trebuchet out to fire on that town center, right? Because at this point, I'm still assuming that the base is much huger. Oh, also, he's so bad, he fails to even scout out the tiny little base that's completely out in the open, no walls, no towers, no nothing. Completely misses it. Man, he still has no upgrades. Red has no upgrades. Did he even build a... I don't think he did. No, he didn't. It doesn't matter what happens here. I lose all my trebuchet because I'm thinking he's going to go for these guys, so I send out the trebuchet, but the timing was off. So he takes out my trebuchet. And he does eventually take out these battering rams, but not before I utterly wreck his base, and realize that this was all he built. Does he finally do anything? He finally builds a town center. With 1 villager! Julian! I'm mad! You make me so mad, Julian! And then look at this. He's even worse, Victor! That my men are right here, shoot them! Like, 1 shot! Good job! I'm feeling super sarcastic right now. You know, like the mean sarcastic, but good God, can you blame me? Look at this! This is embarrassing for both Victor and Julian. This is awful. If these guys were playing competently, they could have destroyed me easily. This is 2v1. My own companion quit. And look at that. He built 3 farms. I just remembered to check on this area. Like, ooh, what's he doing? And let's see how Red is doing. Okay, look, I sent out another trebuchet. I built another one and sent it out real quick. So now that's firing down just kind of randomly. I'm really wishing I hadn't done that because I built 3. And when I get those other 2 out, I remember, okay, I need to pack this one before I can send it to attack the yellow. And then I just completely forget about the trebuchet, and later on I end up wondering, where's my trebuchet? I know I built some trebuchet. Oh, maybe they died. So, yeah. There goes all of Red's base, and eventually I find those villagers just hiding out right there. And then I see a sheep that he's got right here, just chilling there. Just chilling. Goodbye, Red's villagers. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, he knows about the siege workshop. He knows about the gate. He still doesn't know that I have a tiny economy hidden back here. He doesn't know about the castle that I built back here as a backup. Look at that. Beautiful. He doesn't know about the university I built. He doesn't know that I'm mining stone right next to his camels. He doesn't know anything about me. He hasn't scouted at all. Oh, and look at this. The skirmishers are about to go up there. They're gonna see this. Then I'm gonna send these guys and just wreck his entire thing. And look at this. Oh, baby. See, I send these guys out. Go looking. Honestly, if this goes on long enough, those two skirmishers could have taken out the Mangonel by themselves. But yeah, there I go with them, and I leave one behind on accident, but later on I'm like, you know what? It's a good idea to actually have one behind in case these three die to something dumb. I have these guys ahead scouting out just to make sure that nobody's up there so I can pull back with my villagers. And I didn't really think that Yellow would have any army units up here, so I didn't worry about that. Though he actually does, later on, he actually does try to send a small force, pretty much the same composition as what was destroyed down here. And yeah, he gets completely wrecked. Get wrecked. It's like he's not even trying to fight me. He just sends the units there, and he's like, I don't need to worry about it anymore. And then when he sees him getting attacked, he doesn't even react. He's like, oh, they're done. He just gives up. I'm wondering if maybe the guy just feels really, like, underconfident in his ability to handle me. But you can't help but wonder, how long can you go on in a game like that, feeling so weak that you don't even bother trying to do anything? Oh wow, red is completely out of wood. Look at all the stone he has. He could build a castle. He should build a castle. Look. Red, help your buddy out. Seal off some of these areas. Seal off that. Seal off that. Send some villagers over here. Build a castle on this tiny little hill right there, if you can. I don't know if you can. It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, yep. There goes his last scout, and he's still got two sheep just chilling right there, right there. Yeah. Victor sends a trebuchet, and I have these two halberdiers right here that I gotta immediately find it and destroy it. There's a relic chilling right there. Not important, but you know. Oh yeah, there's my monk. I sent him forward to explore this middle area because I hadn't actually scouted out any of this area. So I wanted to know if maybe the enemy had built something. Maybe there were some relics. Mostly I was looking for relics because at this point I'm like, you know what? These two are really terrible at this game. They're probably not going to build a forward base and attack me. Just in case, at one point I do expect that they were going to send an army forward. I can't remember what led me to thinking that. Oh yeah, look here, there they go. There they go. There goes those three knights. I can't remember what it is. Oh, it's this. They kill these two halberdiers, so I'm like, uh-oh. Yellow's gonna send forward an army. So at this point, right, I'm thinking, uh-oh, you know, he's got an army, and I don't know how much more he's got. I don't know if there's some already ahead of him. I don't know if there's some more coming up behind them. So I'm like, oh no, I need to get an army ready. I need to get a counter army ready. Yeah, look at that. I love how I have this whole thing completely sealed off. Not even a smudge of a chance of even touching me, unless of course they go through here, which is still wide open. Just gotta point that out. Still is wide open. Whole area. He could easily get right through to me. He probably could just create a small little army and then just right-click on this corner, and the AI will automatically know to go around. I'm pretty sure they will. I don't know. I don't really know how pathing works in Age of Empires 2. It's always confused me. Oh, look at that. There's another opening that I created, and I actually meant to keep tabs on it, but I failed to. Right there in those gold mines. That's kind of the dangerous thing about walling in your base. If you take advantage of gold piles and stone piles and forests around you, it can cause a problem in the long run. If you're in need of gold, and if you choose to deliberately leave that one alone, well then you're going to be lower on gold than you need to be. But if you choose to use it, then you need to keep tabs on it and make sure that you're building walls. Because otherwise, you're going to end up with an opening, and right through there, the enemy can just cut through and just destroy you. Provided that they're not playing like this, where they're not even getting upgrades on their basic archers that they're, for some reason, think are good enough to counter halberdiers that have, it looks like, at least three, maybe 4 or 5 different upgrades. Oh, look at that. I killed one halberdier with his camel. Camels versus halberdiers is the dumbest thing. Oh, look. See, again, I'm thinking, oh, hey, here's this little area. What if he sends an army for it? Let's quickly wall this out. Look at that. He can't even get through to me except by going all this way around. I didn't even know that. I was expecting that maybe there was like a little bit of forest over here that he could still circle around to me with. So looking back, this was like accidentally genius. And so here I come forward with the Cap Ram. I don't remember how I got units inside of there. I don't remember telling any units to garrison in there. But then there they go. Ooh, I bumped the desk. Sorry about that. I get a little uncomfortable sitting in this chair after too long. I just do. Oh, look, it's 1 hour and 18 minutes into the game now. 1 hour and 18 minutes. Yeah, there we go. I finally hit him. I finish off his town center. I take out any units that try to stop me easily because he doesn't understand the usefulness of really pulling together an army. I think he just panics, honestly. Like these guys don't know about. It's so bad. It's so painful. There's so many mistakes that they're making. There's so many mistakes I'm making too, honestly. I really needed to scout this area out, but I think I just assumed at the time that this whole area was forest, even though I have sheep right here that prove that it's not. Actually, hold on. Let's cut to my view. Let's see if I finally scouted out this area. There we are. So yeah, I do realize that this whole area is a massive opening, and I never do anything about it because I know that they never attack me ever. I get too cocky. I'm getting cocky because they can't handle me. And there you go. I build some more forward buildings, make it easier for me to keep the army going up. I even build a castle just in case I need to build more trebuchet, because this is the part where I'm like, where did I put those trebuchet? Where did I do with them? I finally tell them to come forward. I notice them and I tell them to come forward, and I think they're not there. Where are they? Where are they? There they are. They're right here. Oh, look, here's the part where he finally hits me with his little army, but he took way too long. Way too long, and I already have a bunch of halberdiers to meet them. At this point, I just kind of have them patrol, because I'm like, you know what, I'm like, you know what if he sends more? What if he sends another tiny force of three cavalry units? Oh my goodness. See, yeah, all I can see is that he's got houses. There we go. Kind of wish I could make this like a one-button switch. Or a view lock. Oh, sweet! I can make you guys see exactly what I'm seeing. Oh, that's cool. You guys want to experience the rest of this way? Yes, I'm just kind of keeping tabs in my army. Just kind of watching them. I don't know if that's me selecting the Cap Ram or... Yeah, okay, that's actually me in-game selecting the Cap Rams. I sent forward that little army. Yeah, there we go. I cut to an halberdier. I'm looking for, like, idle units at this point. Trying to see if there's more I need to send somewhere. Then I tab down. Because what I use, by the way, for idle villagers and military, normally it's the button for commas and periods for idle units. But I change that to the mouse wheel. I can just, with my right hand, I can go... And, you know, then I've selected the next military or villager. I like doing it that way, honestly. Is someone trying to call me now? Really? Well, it's not like I can put up some kind of sign that says I'm going to be recording right now. Please no come in. Please no enter. By the way, this is going to change soon. I probably should make another quick update video about it. But once my, well, I've mentioned this already previously, but once my tax returns come in, I'm going to save up, and with some help from another family member, I'm gonna buy an office for both of us to use, and we're gonna set up our own small businesses. Mine is gonna be through my YouTube, just selling like merchandise and just making the place look nice. Something that's actually a nice place to be around, where I don't have to deal with pets or spiders or a musty, ugly basement. I can just have my own little office area. And so, yeah, once we get that taken care of, I'll totally do like a tour. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a setup tour, because I'm also gonna spend some of that money on upgrading my equipment too. You know, I'm gonna mostly that's gonna go towards my computer, but some of that's gonna go towards just general aesthetics, making the office look good. And that's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. Oh yeah, I build a little bitty monastery right there, just to make sure. Okay, I'm gonna stop the view lock. I'm gonna stop the view lock. There we go. So yeah, Yellow, his base is getting wrecked, so he builds a new town center. How's Yellow? Oh, look at my resources too, by the way. Look at that. I'm swimming in res. I'm not having a hard time at all. And then Victor up here. He's doing pretty good in resources himself. The only thing he's really struggling with is gold, and that's mostly just because he never set up trade like I have. Look at this. I have trade. Look at that. So I'm getting. I guess I have to cut to my perspective to see that. How much are you bringing back? 37 gold. Not the best, honestly. If I had moved my market and built it like down over here, and if he did the same thing and built that in this corner, then it would be insane. But yeah, it's all right. It's a good trade. It's a good trade. And then my villagers are over here, like they're trying to gather, and Yellow's like, no, my gold now. And I don't realize until it's too late. I actually could have defeated his villagers if I had been paying attention. But I think it's at around this point that I start noticing. I'm like, oh, okay. But by now he's already got a scout over here to finish off my villagers. But yeah, if I had noticed this like immediately, initially, I could have done something about this. But I was a bit too slow. My reactions were just too sluggish. So they die. I lose all that gold that they were gathering. Oh dear. Oh well. Happens. But in the meantime... Oh, he hasn't... He has a university, but he doesn't... Are you serious? He's just gonna sit there and let me come up there with my capped rams and destroy his castle. One of the most valuable buildings in the entire game, and he's just gonna let me destroy it. I mean, he can build 3. No, he can build like at least 1. 3, yeah. He can build 3, about 3 more. 2 more, actually. He would be at 600. Because it's 650 a castle. And then, oh yeah, I finally, by the way, I noticed he had villagers down here. So I converted them with these monks. And I accidentally signaled right there. And the reason... Oh no, I didn't. That wasn't an accident. I'm like laughing at them because I just bought spies. And so I'm looking at that, I'm like laughing like, yeah, you think you got me. You think you got me. But it's also funny because that scout, again, what it's doing is totally useless. No point at all in trying to destroy a simple mining camp that's nearby. Really, seriously, it's so far away from my base. I haven't even reacted yet. If Yellow was being a little bit more self-aware, he would have used his scout and realized, oh yeah, my villagers are super vulnerable out here. He knows they're here. I should be scouting. And I guess he finally realizes it, so he sends his scout away. I'm not sure what he's thinking, honestly, but... Look, Green has two light cavalry units sitting there. Look at that. He's actually got upgrades on his units when he gave up. That's so disappointing. Because he wasn't doing that bad. He really wasn't. He was doing better than both of these players. He probably could have beaten them all by himself. I would like to see that, actually. I would have enjoyed that if Antonio stayed on and then I just kicked back and just watched Antonio wreck these guys, that would have been great. It really is a shame that this is an unranked match, by the way. Sorry if that ruins the game for you, but this is an unranked match. It's lame to me too, because this was such an easy win, and my score is pretty sad in how low it is. I'm not a good player at this game, at least not against the average Age of Empires 2 Voobly player. I don't know about Steam though. I don't know about Steam. Steam might be another story. Hard to say. I haven't played any games on Steam. Look at that. See, yeah. See, finally realizes, oh, over here is super vulnerable. Let me send the only unit that I haven't bought any upgrades for, the Knight. Seriously, no upgrades. If these guys had upgrades, it would say like plus, you know, +1, +2, plus whatever next to the armor and next to the damage. They don't have anything. But he's still insisting on going for cavalry. It makes no sense. He doesn't even have upgrades on his archers. Not a single one. They're just regular archers. The knights, regular knights. That's not how you beat a player in Age of Empires 2. I know what I said earlier about destroying mining camps being useless, but this at least makes things kind of annoying for him. That's my justification. Like, I'm not having any trouble right now. This area, I don't care about protecting it. At this point, I have spies, too, so I'm going to know if they try anything funny. But yeah, I come over here, I'm like, hey, I know you're here, by the way, with my halberdiers, just to see if he does anything. And he does. He has a villager build a stable. And in red here, he could have done this better, but he does manage to build the stable. Seriously, he really risked having his unit killed right there. And yeah, see, like, he also insists on building just regular knights. He doesn't insist on building archers to counter my halberdiers. He doesn't build towers. He doesn't build stone walls. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And so this is the easiest. I'm gonna drink some water. I'm thirsty as hell. This has been Silly Songs with Larry. Tune in next time to hear Larry play the Age of Empires 2. But yeah, I decided to have a bit of fun with these guys to end them, right? Because if these guys were aware, they would resign. Honestly, either that, or they just want to waste my time, or maybe they find this fun. Maybe they find it fun to be in the losing position. Oh yeah, I have the small walls installed. I know a lot of people say that looks ugly, the small trees and small walls. You probably noticed this by now, but I prefer it that way. I can see things a bit easier. I like it that way. It's weird how the fortified gates here don't get lower, but the walls do. It's kind of funny, isn't it? But yeah. Excuse me. I guess they do the gates that way because it looks really weird aesthetically. If your gate is super tiny and then you have like a massive war elephant trying to go through it, it's like, oh yeah, let me raise up. Elephant's like, no, I can't go through. But because it's not actually that. I accidentally signaled there. I actually do this a couple more times before the game ends. So there you go. So, how's your day going? Red's not even trying. Red and yellow aren't even trying to save this. They're not even trying to send their one villager, like, away. And I try to send him away, but not before I catch him and kill him. And then Red has a farm go out. He's just over here thinking everything's gonna be just fine. Everything's gonna be just fine. Everything's gonna be just fine. No. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. Ah! Well, for those of you guys who want to see the actual ending, and also, by the way, for those of you guys who have actually been keeping up with me this whole time, thank you. I love you. You're awesome. But yeah, let me just try and skip to the end here just so you can see how it all ends. If you don't care, that's fine. Go ahead and click off the video. I don't mind at this point. I just want to say thank you for watching, and thank you for sitting here with me and enduring my nonsense. Indulging me in my nonsense. That's the better term. Man, it was a fun game for me. Albeit a little bit lame. Albeit very lame. Because I was expecting so much more, and then what actually happened was just super lame. Really, the only reason I had fun was because I kept expecting and wondering what the enemy's gonna do next. And they kept doing nothing. They just kept doing nothing. And that really upsets me. I feel like I've been trolled, you know? Like my time as a YouTuber has been wasted. Because I was trying to gather good footage and play with hopefully competent players, but no. This still fulfills what I said earlier. You guys remember, surely? Surely you do. Back on episode... it wasn't an episode, but it was the Jaw versus 2 Mexicans video. I thought it was going to be a regular match, but it turned out to be CBA. So I started recording it, and it caught me completely off guard. Yeah, that one. This is the sequel. Evidence that Spanish-speaking players tend to play this game and be super duper lax about it, and are not worried at all about losing. They just play for fun. It's not about winning the game for these people. It's about just having a good time, having a good game, having some fun. You know what? I respect that. I respect that. How can I not respect that? Honestly, I love it whenever I get to play against people who don't really care about winning. That it's not about winning to them. It's about just having fun. Nothing but respect in that regard. At the same time, if it's not what they're about and they're just really, really bad, then consider all my respect for them gone. But I can't confirm that or prove that in any way. So there you go. Here's when I come in, mess with him with my archers. Then he panics, presses the bell, rings his bell. He kills my archers. I seal off the walls. Oh wow, I didn't build that one. Huh. Oh well, I do now. Yeah, I seal off that little area. Hadn't yet explored this area. Actually, technically, I just did with my scout. There you go. So now I finally realize how open and weak this area is. There's Red, he's building, he's doing his thing, but there am I building my forward base. Just making it bigger and better and badder. And more of his farms are exhausting, still not doing anything interesting. Up at my base, yeah, I walled in that area, had some military units chilling around over here, even though that does absolutely nothing, and militia are the weakest unit in the game. The weakest. I gotta build more farms. T90 farms right there, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, obviously I reference other YouTubers because that increases my views. You know, just in case it wasn't obvious, that's the reason why I do it. Not because I genuinely watch and enjoy their videos. No. Who does that? Who does that? Me? No. Man, he keeps building the same units, so I just build the same units. Like, you know what? If you're going to keep building cavalry and pikemen, I'm going to keep countering that with pikemen and with upgraded pikemen and what are they called? The guys. Not these guys, the other one. The skirmishers. Yeah, there's a part where he resigns. I'm like, dude, what? What the hey? And then I mess with his economy a little bit more. I kill a couple of his idle vills. I don't remember how I kill this one. I think I would like to actually keep watching and see how I kill it. But yeah, he manages to ward them off with his camel and knights. You know, numbers. He has the advantage in numbers here, and I'm aware of that, so I gather up an army. Continue building, continue building. Finally, Yellow arrives with his army. After waiting 63 years, he doesn't send villagers forward. Super important that he does that. It's so good to have villagers just in many different places. Does so many good things for you. Hey, I build my third town center. That right there is probably the biggest reason why I succeed over these guys in every other way. Like, almost more than the fact, almost more than the fact that they didn't get upgrades on their units and did a couple of terrible things with their economy. It's because they always stuck with, both of them always stuck with one town center the whole game. Meanwhile, I'm chilling over here with 3, and I'm producing economy and working out my economy a million times faster and more efficiently. Jeez, this is awful. Look at his res. Compare that to what I've got. Compare that to what I've got. Has less resources. Alright, fine. But compare that to what I've done. Compare that to my score. Compare that to my upgrades. Compare that to my army composition. Compare that to my base design. Compare that to my aggressive plays. Oh, man. It hurts. It really hurts because I've been screwed over so many times by this exact same way of playing the game. Just completely demolished. So it's like, I really feel their pain, kind of, because, you know, you're coming into this game and you're thinking, oh man, this is going to be just a nice simple play. We're all going to reach the Imperial Age and we're just going to have an epic showdown. It's going to be awesome. No. You want an epic showdown? Play the game early. Try to take them down early. That is an epic showdown. Unless you're bad at it. Speaking of which, for those of you guys who do like that, I highly recommend Age of Empires 3. The community there is much more, what's the word? Much more casual. They're much more casual in Age of Empires 3. The whole community is like that. So if you're up for a more... So if you're down with the kind of game where you don't attack people in the early game and you just mess around and have fun, I highly recommend it. Because... just because it's so much easier. And, because... Yeah, just because of how much more casual it is. There's more opportunities for fun. For a fun game. And there's so many more... What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is they actually have a game mode. On Age of Empires 3, it's like a community game mode. It's not a mod or anything like that. It's basically, you play the normal game, but they play it with like these special rules. And they have all kinds of rules depending on who you play with and against. Some people play rules like, okay, half map, you can't build anything unless it's on your actual half of the map. And they find some way to divide that up, like maybe it's with a trade route or something, or maybe a river, or, you know, whatever it is. They say you can only build on your side of the map, and then sometimes people bicker about it because sometimes one guy's being, you know, Mr. Clever, Mr. Special, and he builds like a tower on the enemy side, just a little bit over where the line is obviously at, and goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And that can be really annoying. Even worse, in my opinion, is people who straight up cheat. There will be people who team up and do this, and it's really toxic. Way more toxic than anything I've seen in Age of Empires 2, where people will just sit... The worst I've seen here is people will maybe make fun of you and say you're bad at the game and maybe not even let you play in their games if you're a noob. That's the worst I've ever seen here. Age of Empires 3, people will straight up cheat. If you play games with rules, specific... explicit rules set up, they will deliberately break them. So, you know, it's up to you. It's up to you if you want to get in on that community. It can be really fun whenever everybody does follow the rules, and I do have a couple of fun moments, actually. I'm wondering if I should try and make like an Age of Empires 2 scenario where you replicate what happened to me in Age of Empires 3. I'll go ahead and retell the story here, just for fun's sake. In that game, it was Age of Empires 3, and it was set up with a whole lot of cliffs and mountains you know, just this impassable terrain that you also can't mine or get rid of or get through in any way. It had a lot of territory that was like that. So that created a lot of choke points. And one of which was at around the halfway part of the map. We were playing with that rule where you weren't allowed to attack your enemy for, I think it was 45, maybe 60 minutes. I was playing as my favorite civilization for that sort of game, which was Germany. And the reason I picked them out in Age of Empires 3 is because they can build a pretty decent economy, but the big thing about them is their units, their unit composition. Doppelsoldner are insane. They're really good. They're not the best unit, definitely. They're definitely not the best unit. But you know, they're up there. They're like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. If we're going from 1 to 10 on how good the units are, I rate them about a 6 or a 7. They're really good against cavalry, and they have a pretty good amount of HP, so they're really good for certain circumstances. But the best thing about them is the War Wagon. The War Wagon is straight up a 10 unit. Or no. I give it a 9 because War Wagons, they're insanely good. They have a whole lot of HP. They do a whole lot of damage. They have a pretty good range. They don't have super great range, but they're amazing for holding off choke points. They're great for holding off choke points, and they're great for just in general attacking and defending because they also have a lot of armor. They're war wagons, you know? They're horse-drawn wagons with cannons in them, and they're awesome. And they're OP. But they're expensive, and they take up 3 population space instead of the usual 2 that you usually get for cavalry units, or and artillery, by the way, it's like, I think 5 per artillery unit, which is way worse. Excuse me, sorry. But yeah. Basically, I was playing that game. It was a 3v3 game. I'm going to drink some more water here. And what I end up doing is I build... What is it? I build something. No, I don't build. I get the choke points, and I do a really good job at sealing them off and making sure that I have military bases at every single location. But then my allies quit right before the 60-minute marker hits, or right before the 45 or whatever minute mark reaches. But by that time, I've already gotten all the upgrades to my economy and to the military composition I've wanted. So it begins. And by the way, it's a rated match. So this becomes really annoying because now my allies have both quit on me. So I'm just absolutely stuck without much of an army. Yeah, I'm just going to show you how I finish off this base because this is the only one that's actually kind of fun for me to finish off. Mostly this part right here and then the castle bit. But anyways, where was I? Yeah, it was basically 3, maybe 4 choke points that I was holding off because I had bases and I had plenty of military encampments in that area. So it was really easy for me to build an army and just maintain an army there because Germans units, they were expensive, but they're very powerful. And the enemies I was up against, I think one was Dutch, one was French, and I think another one was like Russia or something. And I'm not sure if they were bad at the game or what, but because they built decently sized armies and everything like that, and they were plenty aggressive, but they could not breach past. I believe it took them about 30 to 40 minutes of just dealing with that before they finally gave in, and I won. That was how it went on. It was... Oh, I'm sorry. That scared me. I was leaning back in my chair, and I nearly fell. That could have been bad. Oh, man. When life flashes before your eyes as your chair leans back, you nearly fall on your face. I guess it takes a little bit before I get to that castle bit, huh? So let me go up here. So yeah, I hold off that area by building basically just war wagons, and then Germany's Imperial Skirmisher unit, I think called the Needler. I think that's what they're called, the Needler. That's my composition, because war wagons are good against cavalry, and the Imperial, whatever they're called, are good against they are good against infantry. They straight up get a bonus against them. Which is funny, I just realized that that's actually kind of a similarity between Age of Empires 2 and 3 right there, is that in both games you still have infantry, you still have cavalry, and you still have ships. And all three of those things have weaknesses and strengths against each other. So that's interesting to me. That's interesting. Oh yeah, and artillery. You can't forget about that. Artillery is both in the second and the third, so, you know, probably should have mentioned that. Okay, so there's the two villages running forward here, so we're about to get to see the fun castle bit. I built my siege workshop already. I already have some units hiding in there. And we are finally about to see the end of Julian and Victor. The two biggest noobs I've ever seen, but that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to be a pro at this game to play it and have fun or anything like that. I got nothing but love for anybody who wants to go on here. I was about to say love and respect, but I just said earlier that I don't respect you if you're terrible at the game. So, or something along the lines of that. But there's my castle. He never notices, and I know that he doesn't notice. So I deliberately do the stupidest thing. You guys are gonna see it in a minute here. I think I wait on that until I finish off this place. Now I'm like, okay, let's finally just end red. Yeah. But anyways. Ugh. Back to that Age of Empires 3 story. So, the French, the Dutch, and Russia. I may have that wrong, by the way. I know for sure French is on there, and then one of the way weaker civilizations, it may have been Dutch, it may have been Britain, I don't remember. I say weaker, by the way, purely in terms of the types of soldiers, the types of units they can make. I don't mean in terms of comparison to other civs. I'm just talking about their armies. The French are actually pretty good. The Russians are also pretty good. As much as I hate to admit it, because I really hate playing against the Russians in that game. They're so annoying. They're so annoying. But, Russians, well, I think I'm wrong about them being Russian too, the last civ. But it was still fun. And I held off that choke point for what felt like an hour or two. It may have actually been that long. I honestly am not sure. Oh, here we go. I send my capped ram forward. Now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wait until it's almost done. This is like 97% done or something like that. So I'm going to send the capped ram forward and attack. Then their knights are going to come forward. I'm going to pull it back. I think it's at this point I also release these guys, which is dumb. I should have just let this thing pull back and let him see my castle. No, wait, no, I remember why I send them out. But yeah, I hold off on them for forever, but then finally my economy gives in and I can't make any more soldiers. Germany's units are so expensive, I ran out of funds to afford making them. So I had to resign at that point. Because because I hadn't built... I was so focused on the military. You guys don't get it. Like, if you were in my shoes and playing that game, you would get it. Especially as someone who's not a pro player. I think it's much easier to understand my frustration with that. But basically what was happening was I couldn't play it because I I couldn't do anything else. Like I couldn't build additional structures really, because I was having such a hard time dealing with an army composition that big, and dealing with my economy at the same time, even though you barely have to manage it in Age of Empires 3. Another something else that I like about that game. Way less micromanagement needed. What was I saying? Something about something. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was just so busy basically producing and microing my armies to make sure that I didn't lose ground on any of those choke points. I had been hoping that entire time that eventually they would just get tired and then resign one by one until I won. That's what I had been hoping for. Because I kept the fight up and I was doing really well. At least, because I was able to hold the choke points. Maybe in reality I wasn't doing so well and they're just really bad like these guys are. But I was holding that choke point. So as far as I'm concerned, I was doing really well. But eventually I ran out of my economy. I couldn't afford to make any more soldiers. And that was when I had to resign. Just like these guys had to. I'm the Jawesome one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys again in the next video. Take care. And bye-bye. I don't think that actually does it, does it? No, it doesn't.